But once you think you're the best, that's the beginning of the end. If you're an employee somewhere, they don't care about you.
No.
You are replaced within a day.
You get hit by a bus on Monday.
No.
There will be someone else sitting in your desk on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're bribed into giving up your freedom, and in return, the trade-off is your long-term ambitions and goals. That's what the trade-off is.
You have to look in the mirror and say, and that's the only reason why you haven't made it, because you're not the one.
Because you won't commit. I realised that we've got this industry, estate agency, property, luxury property, whatever you want to call it, we've got it by the scruff of the neck. And I'm telling you now, that grip is fucking firm. And we're coming for them.
We will be very strong, and I think they should be worried about us. Yeah.
Hi guys, and welcome to the latest edition of the Real Estate All Stars podcast. So today I am joined with Lara Belpier. Hi Lara.
Hey.
How's it going? So today we're talking about the very exciting, well, we're going to go into a few subjects, but one of the big subjects is an exciting launch within Tyra Nash Real Estate of our prime and super prime lettings division. So let's kick off with that. So just talk us through, so you're the head of lettings, which is a big title.
Yeah, very big.
So you know, I mean, for me, it was a massive opportunity. I think it was something that we had to do, and it's been something that I've had sitting there percolating for a while. So just talk us through what's going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. So we're going to do everything from, putting the property on, launching it, making sure the legalities are in order, making sure we do everything. We'll install alarms. We've got lots of people to help us.
Yeah, we've got a big team, haven't we, behind us? And I think that the main thing is you know, from where we're sort of operating, it's going to be prime, super prime lettings. We do kind of do some of the normal stuff as well. Obviously that has come up. And you know, the good thing is that we're working to very, very high standards. That's the main thing. The one thing that sort of carries through with our sales division, as everyone can see, the crazy growth over the last 2 years, across sort of all prime, super prime areas in the UK, is our standards are very, very high. Well, that's exactly the same with lettings. So, you know, what sort of standards can landlords expect from us when we're letting out their kind of prime and super prime properties?
So I think the main thing, what I would say is that we would treat their property as our own.
Yes.
So we would actually act like it's our own property.
Yes.
This is something a lot of high street agents don't do.
Yes.
Also, with high street agents, you've got a lot of different negotiators. You don't really know who goes through your home.
Yes,
Whilst
very
with
true.
us, you've got that one person that you trust and you really build that relationship with. We'll also have several packages that you can get with us.
Brilliant.
And we really will focus on the long-term relationship to actually have your home secured, and if there's a problem, we will be there. And it's not just how other estate agents would do, is that, we've got
Phones
your commission, phones off, we don't care, exchange has happened, in sales then, we're not picking up, we've done our job, we're not like that, because we want you to come back and
Absolutely, I think that's the key, is that certainly when we're dealing with kind of the luxury end of the market, we've got to make sure that first of all, you as the homeowner, you as the landlord, your interests are protected, which means first of all, when we're talking about the types of tenants that we're getting in, naturally we sell for high profile, high net worth individuals, we sell for celebrities, footballers, or pro sports people, whatever, you know, these are all commonplace clients for us at Tyra Nash Real Estate, and that is going to be exactly the same. We've got a high earning rental market and type of profile that we're going to have. And, you know, for me, I think that's, you know, that is very, very important when people are letting luxury properties. They need to know that we have access to these people in order to make sure that they're getting the highest caliber of tenant through the door.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also really important to pre-qualify them.
Yes.
So we would check how they were with their previous landlord.
Yes.
We would check their income. We would check everything, and not just hiring a referencing company. No, we would actually investigate the report and explain it to the landlord, which is it's a rarity, really.
Amazing. Yeah. And you know, and I think that's really key, is that, look, guys, it's not kind of rocket science, but I think it's one of those things where we have to make sure the standards are where they are, so that people who have these luxury homes to let, they know what they're getting from us. The same Tyra Nash Real Estate standards get maintained across the nationwide. And, you know, for me, it's going to be a success. We've already had an influx of people who want to let their properties through us. So, you know, that's all going to be going live very, very soon. And, you know, that's what people are going to be getting. So, obviously, look, we can talk and go back and forth about that. I think that everyone can see what we're going to deliver. How do you think the all of these announcements with obviously the interest rates, now there's no kind of fixed rates for anyone, so the standard variables shot up. People are getting caught out a little bit on the mortgage side now, and it is looking a little bit bleak for certain people, which is very, very sad. How do you think that's affecting or going to affect the rental market going forward?
I mean, to start with sales, because I mean, they work together.
Yes.
So with sales, I think there will be an extra demand because of the stamp duty. I think because a lot of people won't be able to buy because of the mortgage rates. Lettings will definitely increase. And
I think there's going to be an influx.
We can see it, like the market, especially in London, it's actually crazy. Like we had one on asking price of £1,800 for a studio, which is a record price. And I'm not joking. We had 10 people through the door. 3 of them offered 12 months up front cash, which is unheard of. And the offer we went for was 2,230. And the asking price was 1,800, and the landlord never had 1,800. And I think the beauty of how we work is we will book one day in and do an open house, which not a single high street agent does that. Having an open house really makes those tenants compete.
It will drive that price up to its kind of maximum for the landlords, and that's really, really important that we're getting those prices for the landlords, you know, because at the end of the day, they're probably, you know, feeling the pinch as well on whatever mortgage rates and deals they've got, or they're probably a bit worried about what's around the corner. And I also think that, you know, from kind of a market perspective, cash is king at the moment. So whether that's in the buyer's market, whether that's in the rental market, whatever it might be, cash buyers have their pick of the bunch at the moment. And what's happening is we're seeing an influx of sellers, unfortunately, that can see what's around the corner with regards to their mortgage rates, with regards to where that's going. And that is, of course, forcing people into sometimes unwanted sales, but also it's going to force people into the rental market. I mean, do you see how that's going to kind of materialise in the next year?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very exciting to see where it will go. I think it will go both ways. Like sales will, I mean, it's going to be like, I think sales will go up a bit, lettings will go up. It's going to be exciting to see because of the pound being so...
Oh, the pound's getting smashed at the moment, isn't it?
So for investors, it's going to be very exciting to see.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Because you kind of like, you thought, God, did they not learn their lesson in 2008? And here we are again.
I know.
Some really low-level bonds that it's all been lent against. I'm just thinking, Jesus Christ, mate, are they doing this deliberately? Like, you know, to reset the market? I don't know. So... with regards to kind of, you know, one of the things that really, I guess, sort of brought us together with regards to this partnership for lettings was our attitude to kind of how we go about our business. Now, obviously, we can talk about markets, we can talk about, you know, what's firing money-wise, what's not, where the kind of rental market's going, where the sales market's going. But do you know what? It's always down to the person, the individual, the business that's dealing with those assets, dealing with those properties, dealing with those tenants, dealing with those buyers, that drives that up to its maximum. So what do you think, because you've had your experience in kind of high street agency, how do you compare how your attitude is to business now compared to when you were potentially a high street agent?
I mean, as a high street agent, well, as a staff member at a high street agent, they really squeeze you out as a lemon. You have to work, like it's actually ridiculous. And the main thing as well is when you're working there, your time is not really as, like it's not used well. Yeah,
it's not effective, is it?
No, and it just doesn't work. And I just think how they operate is just not how I would want to be operating as a person. Like for example, if there's a problem, like with us, let's say, well, we do end of tenancy cleans, we do everything. High street agents can't really offer that. They don't have that like tenacious attitude and like to help, like have that relationship. Because let's say someone's working at a high street agent, I guarantee you in 10 months time, 12 months time, they go to another agent.
Of course, they job hop, don't they? I mean, I did it.
I did it. Someone calls you and says, oh, I'm going to make you a senior neg.
And offer you another grand or 1,500 quid a year.
Or give you a new car. And it's like, okay, whatever. And then you lose that client base you've worked for so long. And disappointing because landlords don't really get served well. It's constant turnover.
Yes.
And with us, I mean, it's a completely different business model. People will keep that relationship.
I think one of the great things with kind of how we work as a business is that, you know, everybody involved in this business is effectively running their own business. So that means that the accountability is 100%. So again, for a landlord, for a property owner that wants to sell, you're getting someone who has a vested interest in the end result, which means we've got to manage the process perfectly from start to finish, get you the best result. Once that result is delivered, then we get paid. Whereas actually, when we compare that to what a high street agent's doing, they're getting paid a small basic salary to turn up. If they let or sell your house, great. If they don't, they still go to the pub on a Friday and sink a couple of beers and God knows whatever else. And then, you know, and then they're back out with a hangover on Saturday afternoon, and hopefully it might be their rota that they don't have to work Sunday.
Yeah, like we've got like a story actually. We've got a property right now and it's going to be launched on Monday. And on Sunday it needs to be cleaned. Well, our team is going to clean it on Sunday.
Amazing.
Whilst not a single high street agent would do that. Like our agents are going to go in there, open the door on Sunday. At 9 a.m. they're going to be there. A high street agent wouldn't do that because when you earn £2,000 a month, you can't really expect, I'm not going to work on Sunday.
You're not going to break your back, are you?
No.
You're not going to break your back. So what are your kind of visions for the lettings department in, say, because obviously we're coming into the end of the last quarter for 2022. And then obviously we've got a big year ahead at 2023. What's your kind of visions for it?
I mean, I think we will be very strong, and I think they should be worried about us. Because we're just the landlords will see how good we are, and they will see how tenacious we are and how we will try to get that best tenant through the door. Like, we are there to work for them, whilst I've worked in high street agency quite a long time. And they lie. They lie. They really lie. And they will all, like, I've had offers, it was in sales then, where there were offers received, like better offers, but the actual offer was lower, but it was a cash buyer against someone with a mortgage, but the offer was higher, and the manager would not put the offer forward, or even say to the vendor, you have to accept this offer, because he would get more commission. Whilst we don't do that, we want that long relationship, and we can't afford it. We're such a big brand. Everyone shadows and sees us. Like, we have to we
have to act correct.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's totally true. I think the credibility of what we're doing is very, very high. I think that, like, for me, we are hell bent on getting people the end result, and I think that is effectively what this is built on. You know, when you're launching a property with us, you're going to get the largest exposure, you're going to get the biggest social media presence, you're going to get the highest skilled agents dealing with it, you're going to get the best price. And I think all of that combined is why we're growing so aggressively across the UK. Because for me, I mean, I look around at the standards of what our industry is producing, and it's extremely low. And that also fills me with a lot of confidence, because we're not in, shark infested waters. We've got a couple of jellyfish floating around that you have to swim around, and that's about it. It's it's not something that I'm worried about. And the thing for me is, now I think everybody realizes just how powerful a movement this actually is with regards to, because it's not just a business. This is literally shaking the industry up. And obviously I'm excited that we now have ventured and launched into the lettings division. And by the way, if there are agents or lettings agents that have got experience in this sector, we would recommend you get in touch with us, because we can offer you a far more attractive route and career where you can build your own business. You're going to be earning a lot more money, and you're going to be dealing with some beautiful, beautiful properties to let out. So I'd recommend getting in touch with Lara or myself. So Lara, you're successful in business. You've obviously been in the lettings industry for a while now, as well as the property management, block management industry. What do you think is one of your big drivers or attitudes towards running a business and what would you advise someone who's potentially in the position you were in before, where you were working a 9-to-5 or a high street agency job or whatever, and maybe they're a bit on the fence? What would be your advice to someone who could potentially then step over into something like this, where they could be self-employed effectively, but working in the luxury industry with us?
Well, the first thing is I just love helping people. That is the main thing.
Yes.
And then second, which is probably the most important thing, my freedom.
Yes.
And working for someone else, you have to ask if you want to go to the dentist.
Oh, it's nuts, isn't it?
Like, even I've worked for these like high street agents, like everyone has to start at a bad one, or they don't get the roles at the good ones. And like there was this day plan where you had to like, oh, this hour you have to do this, then you can't. So I had, it was called call out time. During a certain hour of time. So let's say in the morning from 9 until 12, you had to call. It's like the Foxtons model. And if I had a client, oh, I really want to see this house, but I can only do the morning. I wasn't allowed.
Wow.
Is that serving the landlord or the vendor?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like that's ridiculous.
It's nuts, yeah.
They're losing business because they have this model which doesn't work because the turnover will not be that high. And second of all, if someone is like trying or thinking about making the jump, just do it. If you work hard, if you put the hours in and stop making excuses, like if you have time, like I don't drink alcohol, for example. If you have the time to go to the pub for 4 hours, or if you have time to do anything, like even go on holiday for 2 weeks, you've got the time to make your own business.
100%.
And people who say, oh, but you're privileged, all this, all that. No, you have to look in the mirror and say, and that's the only reason why you haven't made it, because you're not the one.
Because you won't commit.
No.
I totally agree. Everybody takes the safe option. And the weird thing is security is the most unsecure environment you could be in. It's so weird. When you say security, you think I'm secure, but it's actually putting you in a very unsecure position. The problem is that short term it feels secure. That's the kind of bribe, is that you're bribed into giving up your freedom, which is exactly what you say. You're bribed into giving up your freedom, and in return, the trade-off is your long-term ambitions and goals. That's what the trade-off is. So you get money now, but you're not allowed it later on. And then the people who took the risks, they get paid later on, and they get paid a lot more.
They get paid based on their results.
Yes.
Whilst, I mean, if you're an employee somewhere, I mean, I'm not saying nurses and doctors, that's something completely different, but like in sales and in business, if you're an employee somewhere, they don't care about you.
No.
You are replaced within a day.
You get hit by a bus on Monday, there will be someone else sitting in your desk on Tuesday. Definitely, that's how it works. You are nothing but a number, and unfortunately they're not building statues of the front desk sales negotiator outside of an office anywhere, because the reality is you're not going to change the world from that front desk, and you're not going to change your families or your immediate people's lives by working there. You're going to pay your bills, and some people say, oh, I'm happy because I pay my bills and I live month to month and all this sort of stuff, and I'm happy. And I said, you might not be sad, but you're not fulfilling your potential. And that is what my driver always is with this. And I think that what people don't realise, and what I think I'm trying to sort of explain to people when they're thinking about making the jump, listen, there are some businesses, some real estate companies, which I would say don't go into business with them. The reason being is that other half of the agreement, they're not actually providing much. And actually what you might find is a lot of people then fail. And that's where people go, oh, but so-and-so went to that real estate company and they failed. The reality is it's because the setup's not correct. With us, yes, we're very loud on social media. Yes, we're all over everything. Your TV, your social media platforms, whatever. But it's built on such high standards and quality that you are learning to become an expert. And when you learn to become an expert at something, it becomes easy. And that is exactly what we teach. We teach you to become an expert. So your partner isn't, just some random person you're in partnership with. It's a nationally recognized organization with structures, processes, training methods, support, business planning, you name it, it's mapped out for you. The only thing you got to do is get off your lazy ass in the morning and fucking do it. And that's it. And that is exactly what we're trying to explain. And there are people in our business, I kid you not, that are earning people's yearly salaries in a month. Consecutive months, like regular months, one after the other, changing their lives, buying 50, 100, 150,000 pound cars and supercars, paying their families' mortgages off, taking their families on holidays, putting their kids in private school. This is all going on at the moment.
I mean, we just had a text. Lala just bought an Audi.
Yeah,
she just
got
bought
a brand new Audi TT.
Yeah.
You know, it's just crazy. And, you know, this is like happening daily. I mean, the figures, I think the sales agreed today, we've done about £15 million of sales today. Like, it's nuts. Like, the WhatsApp groups have been going off the chain. It's crazy. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, like, you know, if people are wondering, is it a myth? Is it something where it can actually, you know, is it real? Just phone some of our agents.
Yeah, like, I truly believe in this, because if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't have joined. Amazing. And I'm really excited. And I think, like, to go back on your first question, you have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
And you have to want it. Like, have that freedom. Like, the freedom is, like, okay, it's hard work, but at least you can make your own decisions. And you don't have someone behind you saying, oh, why have you not made 30 phone calls? We're not going to do that. We're going to say, okay, well, you haven't sold anything. Maybe you should make some more phone calls.
Yeah.
But you're judged on your results. With high street agents, I would never go back. Absolutely not. It's my biggest, no, I'm against it.
Yeah, I agree. I do remember actually when I was working for years at high street agents, and I remember having this, like, God, it was like, it was, I hate to say it, but it was actually a really overwhelming, almost like depression. It was like, it didn't matter what I was doing. It was, I felt like I was stuck in the mud. It felt like I was running in quicksand. It felt like every time I would do something good, it would get marred by the big black cloud that was like hanging over what we were doing. So it was like the boss was like telling me, oh, you can go for lunch now. And I was like, and you've got to be back by 1 o'clock, and it's 12:30, and I'm there, and I'm thinking, God, am I going to? And you have this like anxiety in your body, like, am I going to get back in time?
People at my
oh my God,
were eating their lunch.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's nuts.
And that is a controlling mechanism of fear. It is instilled in corporate life through fear, because what happens is if you do that to someone every single day, you condition them. And when you condition people, you control them. It's the same with anything. So when you're saying to someone, you have half an hour, I am a grown fucking man. If I need an hour to eat my lunch, then you will sit and wait for me to eat my lunch. Like, I don't do it because you get paid $5,000 more than me in a fucking salary. You'll sit and watch me eat my lunch. Like, it's nuts. The arguments I used to have, because I think my own DNA just couldn't comprehend someone telling me what to do, especially when I looked at them and I didn't even fucking respect them. Like, if someone is where you want to be in business and they give you advice, not eat your lunch in half an hour, but if you do this, you will get this result, and this is how you do it, that's got nothing to do with how quickly you eat your lunch. That's got how much you apply yourself, what you implement, and the result you can get from that. That's someone you respect and you take their advice on. Someone cracking the whip from the back of the office is not productive. What that is that control. And that is designed to make you accept that it's okay to earn $25,000 a year.
The worst bit are the morning meetings. Do you remember those?
Fucking hell, yeah.
It's like, how many calls did you make yesterday? Oh, you've done 3 viewings. You had 2 cancellations. Oh, what has happened with that? I mean, like, come on.
Bullshit. It's bullshit. I'd love our morning meetings to go ahead in an estate agent's office. How many viewings did you have in your open house? 150. Oh, well, there was only 130 that turned up. So, like, you know, how many offers did you get? 17. It's just fucking nuts. Like, and
it feels like a kindergarten.
Well, it is.
That is how it is. It feels like kindergarten.
I mean, I've always heard this saying, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. That's what they say. And it's true. It's always been that way. It's like, and it just all ties in with so much. Do you know what the funny thing was that, like, when I started out on this journey of, like, you know, setting up Tyrone Ash Real Estate and the plan and mapping it all out, my God, did I dive down what I could only describe as a big rabbit hole, where it was like, Jesus Christ, like, there is so much that we can do better than what is already being done. And you expose it just by being better. It's a little bit like, you know, when you, like, you know, you get when you're in school, you're blagging it a little bit, and then you get like the really clever kid who maybe answers a question in front of the teacher and it's really good answer to the question. Then they ask you and you're stuttering and stumbling because you haven't done your homework or whatever. Yeah. Well, that's what's kind of happening at the moment, is we're the kids who are doing our homework. We're the kids who are researching how to be better every single day. We're the kids who are literally building businesses, doing your job better than you. And I think if people in this industry now are not worried, I think they are burying their heads in the sand.
I know.
Because something big is coming. Homeowners now who own 5 million, 10 million, 12 million, 15 million pound homes are ringing us to sell their homes.
I mean, look at the website.
Yeah.
We're not lying.
Yeah.
Like, look at our website. Like,
yeah.
Look at our website.
Yeah.
We got it. We have the result.
Funny thing is I landed on one of the, I'm not going to go into which names it was, but I landed on one of the luxury real estate companies who claim to be a national real estate company. And, you know, they're like 8 years old, 10 years old, and they've got like 60, 70 houses for sale. And most of them are like the developments that everyone's allowed to sell in London. And I'm just thinking, you haven't, and yet you've got 115, 120 agents. You know, it's like 0.6 listings per agent. Whereas we're at like, I don't know, 350, 400 listings, and we've only got like 80 agents. I mean, you can already see the maths add up.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, you know, and the numbers that they're doing is just staggering. And I think that now, I always had it as a vision, but now that vision is turning into a massive reality, because I realise that we've got this industry, estate agency, property, luxury property, whatever you want to call it, we've got it by the scruff of the neck. And I'm telling you now, that grip is fucking firm.
It's like the guy who invented the DVD player.
Yeah.
He didn't think people were not going to use DVDs anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
He didn't think Netflix or Amazon was going to come.
Yeah.
And it's, look at Nokia or even BlackBerry.
Yeah.
They were, we're market leader. We're yeah. And now
it's true. Yeah. It's true. Every single one. You know, when you think about the changes in industry and the evolution of these products, the evolution of these services, there was a time where it was just normal to wait and flag a black cab down in the street till probably only a few years ago. And then Uber came along, and Uber was getting knocked back. And they had to change the name twice. They were getting smashed by local councils, everything when they were launching it. But they didn't stop, and they didn't stop, and they didn't stop, then bang. And now everyone uses Uber. Yeah. I mean, don't be wrong, they're pissing me off at the moment because they're taking too long to come. It's really annoying me. 10 minutes, 12 minutes, what the fuck's that? I'd rather go back to waving the black cab down. but that's not the point. But like, fucking Uber. But the thing is that, you know, it is about evolution. There's a time where, you know,
even maps, something that's been there for 100 years, maps. And now we've got sat-nav,
no, but
phones.
Do you know what the funny thing was? I was having this conversation the other day, and I said, I remember when I thought the maps thing got nailed by Garmin. When Garmin had the sat-nav devices that sat in your car, and oh my God, they've smashed it then. Boom, integrated it into a phone. Boom, Google did their own one. Boom, Waze is there. And it's like, oh, Garmin doesn't exist anymore. It's just, I bet that guy's kicking himself, isn't he? I guarantee that guy or girl or woman, who the people who set up Garmin, I guarantee they had offers. I've got this feeling that I guarantee that there was phone companies that potentially offered them something, because the technology they probably had wrapped up, but maybe that was the problem. They couldn't protect the technology because everyone's duplicated it in their own way. And I think if you do a different derivative of it, you can't stop someone giving directions on a phone. Well,
I think the maps from Apple are owned by TomTom, actually.
Are they?
Yeah,
interesting.
I think they are. If you look on the...
Apple Maps is the worst
I think
one, though.
like this is definitely an example of what, once you think you're the best, that's the beginning of the end. And that's why we keep thinking training.
I love that. Like, once you think you're the best, it's
the beginning of the end.
That's the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
It's so true. Do you know what the funny thing is as well, is that, like, you know, I think people often thought that when we were setting up Tyra Nash Real Estate, people were like, oh, you know, are you going to be the best real estate company, or who's your competition? And I think everyone knows that we're going after the industry leaders. I don't like saying their names because I don't know if they're, you know, I'm sure they're looking for an excuse to file a lawsuit on me. So we all know the corporate leaders in estate agency or luxury estate agency. We all know what their names are, and there's only about 2 or 3 of them. And we're coming for them. And I think they know that. I think their board of directors knows exactly who the fuck I am, and they know exactly what we're doing, and they know that I am hungry. And we have got something that is dangerous. It is dangerous, and their vendors, their homeowners are disinstructing them on in record numbers to instruct us, and we are delivering results that they are not delivering. So if you're listed with those agents, let me tell you something. If you haven't listed with Tyrone Ash Real Estate yet, that's because the penny hasn't dropped or one of our agents hasn't knocked on your door yet. But if we knock on your door, answer the door, because I'm telling you, it will be the best thing you do that week or month or year. But, you know, that is the evolution of this industry. We are looking to, for me, it's David v Goliath. And that's what excites me.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to be David.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
You know.
I always want it to be different, me on a personal level.
Yeah.
I don't like to be normal because they're all sheep.
Yes.
And I'd rather be the wolf.
Yes. I also think as well, it's like when you kind of set it up and it's like you go and do the same as them on a high street. Like instead of doing it how we did it, I just went, oh, let's just do another independent agency on a high street and open a few of them. Even if I opened 100 offices, I'm still not going to be as good as them because I'm just a shitter version of them. So by having a completely different animal that looks different, feels different, hunts different, acts different.
Suddenly, but these offices are just control boxes.
Yes.
Like they have no point. Like it's literally it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And I predict in 10, 15 years time, high street agent offices will barely exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it all will be online.
But what's going to be great is that loads of these smaller companies are going to do similar shitter versions of what we're doing, and then we're going to be far ahead. Digitally, kind of in presence, boards, properties sold, whatever it might be. And even if, because the problem is the high street agents can't afford to remove those high street offices because that's a massive component for their existence. It's a massive component for their existence because if you don't walk up that high street and see that shop or that office, that makes them lose some of their traction because they're shit on social media. No one sees them digitally. Even when they do put social media content out, it is shit. Like their videos are rubbish. Like if anyone watches them, yeah, there's a few people that do some TikTok tours and they think they're great because they've got 1 million views. You haven't sold the house. The fucking thing's been put back on TikTok 100 times. Like you haven't sold it.
But they're doing it now as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, they have.
They're doing it now as well. Like we're not going to say any names, but
even like I know plenty of people and they've built some pretty good social media followings who are in these high street agencies, and credit to them. Like I like good social media content, but I think what owners are getting to understand now is social media content isn't our USP. Our USP is actually the entire strategy. And that's what people get blown away with when they meet us. It's not, oh, we're big on social media. Come and be big on social media. Come and challenge us. Come and get more views than us on the odd video. I don't care, because your views don't lead into an absolutely razor sharp strategy. Our strategy is so fucking sharp, it will beat you at every corner. It will get a higher price, it will get more exposure, more buyers through the door, more offers, and it will do it in record time, and it keeps doing it. And that is what people are realising, and the word's getting around. So yeah, I think it's, and that's only going to now carry over into our lettings model, because the lettings model is going to be, your lettings properties are going to have more exposure, higher quality buyers through the door, better lettings prices, and going to get them let quicker than your normal agents do. Job done, plus the service is better.
Yeah, exactly. And the after sales, like we will still be there.
Yes.
Whilst most agents put the phone down.
The retention, yeah.
Yeah. Like we can take everything over. You don't even have to meet your tenant. Like we can be the person who acts like that we are the landlord. Like I'm really excited for it.
No, definitely. Well, look, I think that's a good position to wrap it up on. But look, thanks a lot for that, Lara. It's been a really good chat. And obviously, look, anyone who's interested in, a career in letting luxury property, get in touch with myself, get in touch with Lara, and then we can kind of show you how that side of the business works. But yeah, let's wrap it up there. Thanks a lot, Lara.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay.